actually, yeah.
Hello and welcome to La Manga in Spain, home to courgettes, to lemon groves, and also for the last week and a half it's home to the England women's football team, and I am joined by England and Manchester City striker Toni Duggan.
Hi.
Say hello, Toni. We'll try that one more time. Say hello, Toni.
Hi.
So Toni, last night England played Norway. Not the greatest result. How are you feeling in terms of recovery today?
Yeah, I don't feel too bad. Obviously, it's our first game in pre-season. First 20 minutes, I felt like a struggle, but then you get your second wind. But I think overall, you know, it was a good performance. I think the first half wasn't our best performance, but as soon as we got in at half time and, you know, we sorted out where we were going wrong, I think second half we deserved to come out on top.
And just talk us through the recovery you've been going through today. You were spotted in the pool earlier doing a little bit of synchronised swimming, I think it was.
Yeah, no, obviously it's massively important to recover from games, and there's many different strategies. Last night the girls were in the pool outside, which was freezing, just an alternative to an ice bath. Then we've done some recovery today. We've done foam rolling, stretching, in with the physios, any treatment that you need, and also a team pool session while the other girls went out to train.
Now, we've already had some questions in on Twitter. This one is from MK Marnie, and she says, how do you think the Lionesses are going to do at the Euros in July?
Yeah, I believe we're going to do well. You know, if we're going off the last tournament, we were the top nation in Europe, so there's no reason why we shouldn't. I think we have the ability in our squad. I think, you know, all round, I think we have a great group of players. I think we've got the balance right, and I think now the next few months is just about, you know, really coming together and fine-tuning the last bit so that we're ready to take on the best in Europe.
Now, of course, at the World Cup, the Lionesses got bronze. It was a tremendous performance, a tremendous achievement. Women's Football UK want to ask, what would you rather win more, the Champions League with Manchester City or a major competition with England?
That's a tough one. Obviously I want to win both, but I'm not going to sit on the fence. I won't do that. But I think I'd like to win something with my country. I think there's not many people that have done that. The Champions League comes around every year, so hopefully once I've won something with my country, I'll have another shot at that. Whereas the Euros and the World Cup's every 2 and 4 years, so you want to make the most of that. You know, it's a short career, so to do something with my country will be a massive achievement.
Now, England are playing Sweden tomorrow night in a second friendly. We've had a question in that says, what goes through your mind on the eve of team selection?
It's tough. Sometimes you can kind of try and read into training, but then other times it can just throw you off, because sometimes you might think, oh, I've got a little bit of a chance of being in the team, and then you're not, and then the other vice versa. You can be like, oh, I don't think I'm in this one, and you are. So I think, you know, just get as much sleep as possible. Try not to think that the next day is team selection. I mean, there's decisions made no matter what, so there's nothing you can do while you're lying in your bed. But yeah, it's a nice feeling, I'm not going to lie, when your name's read out on the team sheet. Every footballer wants to play, and I'm no different.
So you normally find out when you get to the ground then? You don't normally find out the night before?
No, we find out the night before the game. Yeah. But even the night before that, waiting for the team announcement, you can be thrown off guard and thinking, who's he going to pick?
Very good. Now, this is probably a question you've been asked a few times before, but not everyone knows the answer. What made you want to play football?
I've got 2 brothers. I've got one older and one younger, and I just used to go along and watch them, and then I started playing myself. But to be fair, they were my worst critics. They didn't want me to play. They'd always throw me in goal or whatever. But now they're like my biggest fans, so it is credit to them in a way, but they're not getting all the credit.
Now, Eric Ash on Twitter has asked, would you ever consider moving to the US and playing in the NWSL?
I can't say it's something I've thought deeply about. You know, obviously you need to consider your options as a player. You need to see what's going to challenge you the best. And if at one point in my career that was the best option and that was my next challenge, then there's no reason I wouldn't go for it. I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, at the minute I'm happy playing in the WSL. I think we've got a great setup, a great league. It tests me in every single way, and I'm at a great club. But who knows in the future, you know, you can't say where you're going to be, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Gareth Bates has asked on Facebook, who's your footballing hero?
Well, I was a Liverpool fan when I was younger, so I grew up watching Michael Owen, Steven Gerrard. So I'd say I look up to them both. Obviously Michael Owen's a striker, so it's more relevant to me, but the way Steven Gerrard led his team, led his country, was amazing, and you know, I really look up to them.
We've had more questions in on Twitter. Josh Bunting wants to know, what's your proudest moment in football so far?
I think, speaking right now, I think last year is the highlight so far. I think winning the double with Man City You know, I've always wanted to win the league. I've been playing for Everton since I was 15, and then I moved to obviously City, so I've been playing first team football for numerous years now. I've had a few cracks of the whip at, you know, winning the league, and finally it came last year. But to do the double was an amazing achievement too. I think on international front, obviously the World Cup was massive success. To come away with the bronze medal when no one expected we'd get that far, and the things that we've done for, you know, women's football in general was an amazing achievement. So they're both ones that I'm proud of.
Another question in on Twitter. If any of your England teammates could join you at City, who would you want it to be?
That's a tough one. Good question. I think I'd have to go with Kaz Carney. Obviously she's a great player. We call her the Wizard. But yeah, she's just a great player. She can change a game in a moment. She's great to play alongside, and if I could play alongside her every week at club, then I think I'd be happy with that.
Ever tried tapping her up?
I could try. We're in the same apartment this week, so give me a couple of days.
You get a lot of praise on Facebook. Michael Carney says women's football is in a great place now, more tactically adept. You're a great player. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
Other questions are who is the toughest defender you've ever come up against? And that's from Jay Patel.
To be fair, I come up against tougher defenders all the time, because in training I'm playing against the likes of Lucy Bronze and Steph. They're obviously physically tough, Demi as well. But then on the international front, I think growing up, she was probably my age as well as Wendy Bernard. You know, I've had a couple of tough run-ins with her, and she's a great player. More recent, I think Buchanan from Canada. She's a great player as well. Got a really promising future, but you know, when you're playing against these top teams, you're going to play against top players, and they're a few to name.
Now, Mark Kuna wants to know, what are your favourite colour boots? And before you answer that, I'm just going to show off your trainers here today. Very nice. So yeah, what are your favourite colour boots to play in?
Man City fans won't be happy with that, but I promise it just matches the kit. Favourite colour boots? I don't mind, to be honest. I wear Nike boots, and you know, they change the colour quite frequently, so I have to go with what I'm sent. But I'm more of a bright coloured person, I think. But as long as it matches my kit, I don't mind.
Savia Attard says, what motivates you on a daily basis to play football? What keeps you going?
I think it's the will to win. Obviously your family, your friends are important, people who've helped you throughout your career. But at the end of the day, you want to win. You know, you've got to be ambitious. I want to win things. I spoke earlier about, you know, winning for my country and winning the Champions League with Man City, and you know, winning the league again. You know, it keeps you going. It's what wakes you up every single day. What makes you goes out onto the training pitch when it's raining, when it's snowing like this week. That's when, you know, you really want to get out there and get it done, and at the end, that's your final goal.
Kate Gibson would like to know, when it comes to England camps, who gets to choose your roommates? Do you get to choose them amongst yourselves, or are you told when you arrive by management?
Yeah, I think management sort that out. I think there's a couple that have been long-term roommates, like Alex Scott and Karen Carney. They're the older generation.
Who's your teammates on this camp?
My housemates on this camp.
Yeah,
roommates. Yeah, Mary Apes. So every time I walk in the room, Demi says, all I hear is Mips, Mips. That's all she shouts when I walk in. But she's a great roommate, to be fair to her. We've got on really well, and she's not long come into the squad, but she's settled in really well, and she's a great girl to get on with.
So Mary Apes' nickname is
Mips, definitely.
And what's your nickname on camp? Did I read somewhere you're called Toebag by your teammates?
I have Toebag, I have Teabag, I have Tea, and I'm really, it's nothing specific.
Billy James wants to know, what do you think can be improved in the women's game?
I think we've took huge strides over the past few years. I mean, it's come a really long way since, you know, obviously the league's gone professional now. But I think there's a lot more to go. Obviously, the media, I read yesterday that there wasn't too much media on, obviously, us playing Norway, and there wasn't many English media out here, but we keep pushing the boundaries, and I'm sure, you know, the big tournaments, that's when people usually, you know, generate the media, and that's when we get the highest profile, so hopefully they can come on board with us this summer and give us all the support that they can.
Now, I'm not saying you're old or you're anywhere near the end of your career, but on Twitter, Jude Morris King would like to know, what do you want your legacy to be when you do retire?
Wow. I don't want to think about that just yet. Obviously I want to be remembered as a great footballer, you know, on the pitch definitely. You know, I want to work as hard as I can now, and so I can be the best player and get the most out of my career that I can. But also I want to be remembered as a good person and someone that tried to help others, whether that be teammates, whether it be staff, whether it be girls coming through the generations, you know, and creating a pathway for young girls, which we have done so far, but we can continue to do, so that, you know, when they come in, they can be starting off from academies like the lads do, and, you know, there can be a clear pathway for them to fulfill their ambitions as well as ours.
Now, we've talked about the game against Norway last night and your recovery. Jess would like to know, what's your best bleep test score?
Jess, we don't do the bleep test anymore, to be fair, but we do the yo-yo, and it's something quite similar. So a couple of weeks ago we done it at Man City, and I think it was level 18-2, which isn't too bad, isn't the best, isn't the worst, but there's definitely room for improvement. I think the highest on the team was maybe 19 plus, and the lowest can average from 16. So I'm up there, but a bit further to go.
Lewis Thompson wants to know, if you ever did finish playing football, or when you finished playing football, would you consider going into a modelling career?
A modelling? Is that a compliment?
I would take that as a massive compliment.
I think I'd be too old then, wouldn't I? I'd have all my lines, my wrinkles. No, it's not something I'd consider. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do after my career. If a modelling contract came along, I'd consider it. But I don't know.
Oliver Thratt wants to know, what age would you say is it too late to make it as a professional in the women's game?
I don't think you can ever say it's too late. I think there's so many examples out there. I think one that stands out obvious, but from the men's game, is obviously Ian Wright, and, you know, a lot more examples seem to be occurring recently as well. I think in the women's game as well, you've only got to look at a couple of the girls in the squad now. I think Jo Potter didn't have a call-up for England for numerous years, and I think as a player you've just got to keep motivating yourself, because your chance can always come. Also, Rachel Williams is back, and she's been amazing this trip, and I think she's been out of the setup for 3 years now, but it's credit to them girls that they've carried on and stuck with, you know, what they do well, and they've got the reward. So I think, you know, as long as you keep pushing yourself and keep trying, your call-up can be when you're young, when you're older, or somewhere in between.
So still hope for all of us yet that we can still make it as a Lioness.
Definitely.
Now, of course, you played Norway last night. You're playing Sweden tomorrow, the Olympic silver medalists from Rio. What are you expecting from them?
They're going to be tough. The Scandinavian teams always are. Really hard to beat. It's going to be the same as Norway, you know, the physical, tough to beat, tough to break down. But I believe that we'll learn from our lessons last night. And I'm sure we'll go into the game full of confidence. It's always a good test against Sweden. As you say, they've had a great year, but, you know, it's one the girls are looking forward to, and hopefully I can kick-start our unbeaten run so we can go again.
I'm going to finish on a very serious question, so I want you to really consider your answer before you give it. Who has the better eyebrows, you or Claire Rafferty?
I had them first, I'll just put that out there, and the eyelashes. I started the trend, but I think Raf maintained hers better. I've let my standards slip now. I've got a boyfriend, I'll admit that.
You'd have to make an effort anymore, do you?
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll give it Raf for the time being, but she definitely copied me.
Well, Toni, best of luck for tomorrow. So the Lionesses play their second match out here tomorrow. They're up against the Olympic silver medalists from Rio, Sweden, and there'll be updates on 5 Live and coverage across BBC Sport.